Hey everybody, welcome back to Penny for Your Thoughts. Oh god, she's got the paints out again. I know, it's kind of harsh, but on the bright side, it never comes off. Well, maybe it does if you drink coffee, I don't know. Hey, transfer proof. What do you know? Well, that pleases me no end. Okay, so we are finally finishing out this album. I am exhausted. I don't think that I have ever listened to an album that took more energy to get through than this. It's taken me like a week and a half or something like that. It's good music. I just feel like I'm having to defang every song individually, but we're almost there. Today I'll be listening to Say That You Will, Drag Me Under, and Bloodsport. So I guess it's on 15 van het death. Where's the hell? I have recently been going down quite a deep Old English rabbit hole. I was big into Middle English balladry for a really long time. I think that started, I don't know, in winter of this year. Completely unrelated to this music actually, but the two are starting to bleed together a little bit, which I think is really funny. It's such a cool language, guys, honestly. It's not just Beowulf either. Like, there are a bunch of other poems that you can go and read. There's actually one called The Order of the World, which I rather like, because it talks about finding like divinity in knowledge and stuff like that. It's kind of a difficult language to pronounce, but I can certainly give it a shot for like one stanza. Wilt du fus hele fremdemonan, wisnevot boran, wordum gretan, frikjan fela jongne, forth geschäft, bidan de jesedia, sidra geschäfta, kreftes kundelice, quich redende, dat de dogra jehuang, thur dom godes, bring a wundra fela wera kneorison. I don't know, I just think it's so pretty. Maybe it does have something to do with this music as well. After all, the next line is Istara anya yehuam uria tataken. Sorry guys, I'm just a nerd. Okay, let's just get started. We had Say That You Will, ah yes. So this one is fun because it's using some restyled versions of the iron symbol. The inclusion of the arrows and also like the little crosses at the ends of those circle details kind of remind me of interlocking male-female symbols, but I think that we're not at that point. I definitely think that this is like an iron copper alloy thing, because taking both of these together, you have two iron symbols opposing each other, and then you have two copper symbols opposing each other. The problem with this sort of thing is that an inverted copper sign is antimony, which is a completely different element. And also there are these weird little thorns coming off of the iron arrows. And if we only saw this as being iron and copper symbols, then like, where are the instructions? You know? Like, usually, as I said before, when I was trying to decipher some of these other symbols, you need your ingredients, you need how to treat them, and you need how long to treat them for. And this is just, here, have two things of iron, have two things of copper. So I don't know. Maybe the song will reveal. Let's get started. I have no expectations after what happened with Sugar. That was weird enough to completely throw me off my game.
Is that a word to say my love, or just a gesture in tongues? Well, I live to guess your sorrow, and you live to empty my lungs. You've got me up in a frenzy again, and I know you're planning to leave in the end.
I think I just blacked out. What? I need to go back and actually read those lyrics. What just happened? Okay, I've got it. All right, so, well, this is sad. I live to guess your sorrow and you live to empty my lungs. Well, it's always tough being, you know, in a dynamic where you're the only person communicating and the other person is just kind of like closed off because they don't believe it's gonna work. Not that I would know. Yeah, oof. Moving on.
And I know you're planning to leave in the end.
beautiful. That was beautiful lyricism. Jesus. I was gonna say something about like the musicality that I'm hearing is like very similar to The Night Does Not Belong to God. I think that some of the rhythms that they're using, maybe even the key, I don't know, are the same. Maybe I should check that actually. Is my instinct correct? The answer is no, but they're close. One is A flat, the other one is G. Look, I don't have perfect pitch. I have perfectionism, but yeah, the lyrics, oh my God. That whole stanza to me is just, it's a diamond. It's perfect. Let the impulse to love and the instinct to kill entangle to one. There are so many songs, actually, many that I deeply enjoy that are, I don't know, I call them lie to me songs, where you're asking somebody to tell you something prettier than the truth because the truth is gonna hurt. I don't actually believe this in real life. It's just a beautiful sentiment. Well, beautiful. It's a beautiful sentiment in the same way as like death is beautiful. I'm not gonna seek it out. There are some things that you ask for in songs that you really shouldn't ask for in real life, but it's gorgeous. I'm gonna listen to that again, actually. It's nice that they repeat it so often since I like it so much. Well, okay, so you know how I am with the rhythm section. Makes me happy. I am so curious about what I was hearing. Pardon me while I look at the sheet music. What an interesting rhythm this is. Jeez Louise, because some parts of it felt like 3/4, and then I looked at the music and it's all 4. This could just be written incorrectly though. Fascinating. I'm pulling a little bit at the edges of this particular song. I feel like the lyrics are more desperate than the style allows for. I don't know, like if I'm saying lie to me, say that you're gonna love me, say that you're gonna stay with me, even though we both know that's not true, that's something I'm gonna be yelling. It's not something I'm gonna be like, pretty little falsetto moment. It's too beautiful for the pain. I don't know, that's my qualm with this song. Other than that though, okay, let's move on to Drag Me Under. Oh God, this freaking, okay, this thing. Actually, when I drew this, I drew it in 2 parts, one with all of the straight lines and the other with all of the curved lines, because at the time I was thinking about trying to use runes and not trying to use alchemical symbols. And my brain is still seeing it in 2 parts. I can literally show you. This is how I drew it. And there are some things that are easily recognizable, like this thing that we saw in the offering, which I didn't know at the time what that was, but apparently it's a crucible. And appropriately enough, there's the inverted triangle sign for water. But this thing here, this sort of unfinished hourglass thing is just, ugh, it's confusing me so much. I went so far as to suggest to myself that this was conduction in 4/4. And then these circle things have just got me beat. I don't know. But I did start to think at this point that some symbols are being repeated throughout. The fact that the crucible is also in the offering, and the triangle is also in the night does not belong to God. I went through the lyrics to this song specifically in advance. I don't remember what they were, but I wrote down notes. And there is some lyrical overlap, but the number of songs, regardless of who they're by, that have lyrical overlap is just so vast in popular and rock, etc. music that it feels like there's almost no point. I don't know. Again, like this is fun stuff. It's a fun puzzle, but I don't want to end up like seeing things that aren't there. That being said, my notes on Bloodsport are crazy. We'll leave that for later though. Let's listen to the song. It's giving Ludovico Einaudi. Okay, them lyrics are really hitting today. So many pop rock songs end up using sentence fragments and, yeah, I get it. You're supposed to rhyme the end of a line, but like the full phrase, and I know the angels tonight are as lost for words as I am to merely behold you as we lie down together, across however many rhythmic breaks that took, is just like, I like it. I like it a lot. Another thing, oh gosh, what song was this? It was Jericho. There was this musical joke that happened in the way that a line came off. The line was, like I swallow years beneath this bed, and the highest note in that phrase was beneath, which I thought was really funny. And here we have drag me under again, under being the highest note. I don't know if that was deliberate, but I just enjoy juxtapositions like that. This whole thing is like, we are straight up back to sweet. We are back to sweet. We are back to wholesome. I don't know what to call it. But I did want to say something about this second verse, because there's something that these lyrics are reminding me of. Speaking of antiquated English, there's just a massive monologue in Romeo and Juliet from Juliet, who's like having her moment obsessing over this teenager, and one of the things that she says is, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. And this shows up in another song actually that I recently reviewed on this channel. It was Shoemaker by Nightwish. But this song as well, this exchange of fealty from the heaven to the earth, from the sun to the moon, from the day to the night. This kind of imagery is really interesting to me, because here what we're saying is, I know the gods will abandon the heavens just to find us. These passages kind of, I don't know, they live in the same space for me. Actually, that whole monologue is really, it's beautiful, but it reads, when you're actually watching the play, it reads so dumb, because this girl is 13 and she's, having a crush on some guy she met at a party, and she's just, coming out with all of this gorgeous stuff. Bruh. Actually, that whole thing is literally like, she's waiting for a booty call, essentially. I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, forget Romeo and Juliet for a second. We're gonna go back to some music. It's nice. Unfortunately, for me, there's not much else that I can feel about it. I like that we have a song whose primary emotion is awe. I think that awe is a lovely emotion to dwell on. I think it's a healthy emotion to dwell on, especially if you study astronomy. Plug, everybody should study astronomy. But it is kind of one note, and I'm afraid if a song is kind of one note like this, then really the lyrics do need to like reach out of my headphones, down my aural canal, and rip my heart out. But this just didn't do that. So, you know, it is what it is. They can't all win. All right, let's move on to blood sport. Oh my God. You would think because the base symbol here is so complex that it would be one of the easier ones to identify in a book of alchemical symbols, but actually there are several that kind of look like this. So my full set of like symbols that this could be included wax, manganese, oxygen, which is the one that I eventually went with, olive oil, niter, which is saltpeter, used in the creation of gunpowder, and the body. But the dots really messed me up. So I'm just gonna kind of like take you through my thought process on this one. I did eventually land on oxygen, not olive oil. If you wanted to make the olive oil symbol work with this, you would need to overlay niter on top of olive oil, and there just aren't any recipes that I can think of that involve that. With oxygen, you can take that symbol and then remove, kind of subtract the symbol for body, and I guess you could take that to mean some form of exhalation, like, I don't know, a death rattle or something. Blood sports are usually hunting games involving the death of an animal. What really got me were the dots, because 3 dots together can sometimes mean oil of indeterminate origin. I was just staring at this for so long, and then I eventually decided to just straight up look up a Bohr model of an oxygen atom. And an oxygen atom has 8 electrons in a stable state. So, you know. Something else that I looked up as well was the chemical diagram for hemoglobin, and that's sometimes drawn with 2 vertical chemical bonds, nitrogen to iron, but unfortunately there are also transverse bonds to the iron, so you would need a full cross in the middle for that to mean anything. Me personally, I'm going with the oxygen interpretation on this one. I just, you know, that's the thing that I see the most, but I could be wrong. I like electrons. What can I say? I want there to be electrons. Also, it kind of looks like a game of marbles. If you guys ever played marbles as kids. Anywho, let's see if I actually like the song as much as I liked the symbol.
Stars align again, even if the earth breaks like burnt skin, and the heavens just won't open up for me. Would you invite me in again? Won't you pay for your arrogance? Won't you show me your weakness? I'm made loving you on blood sport. I'm made loving you on blood sport. I'm made loving you on blood sport. I can't win. I'm made loving you on blood sport. I'm made loving you on blood sport. I'm made loving you on blood sport. I can't win. So let's play.
It feels like these songs are addressed less to some kind of specter, some kind of phantasm, than they are to a real person. And I'm not sure how that fits with the rest of the concept of the album, because up until this point, it has been fairly, what's the word? Immaterial. Like having no matter. Maybe that's just the way that I'm reading it though, because when I go back and I actually look at these lyrics again, it does kind of reflect the same sort of resentment that we saw in Higher and what was the other one? Gods. The invite me in line is kind of intriguing to me as well, because that feels more like a sleep line. Actually, hold on, maybe I'm reading this from the wrong perspective. Maybe this is another sleep song. Fun times. Again, it's a little soft for my liking. You know, can we scream a little bit more? I don't know. I'm hoping.
Somewhere the atoms stopped fusing. I'm still your favorite regret. You're still my weapon of choosing. And out there, stuck in a quantum pattern, tangled with what I never said. You say it doesn't matter. I wanna be forgiven.
More physics. Let's do this. Nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion is how stars stay alive. You can think of a star as being a really dense ball of gas. Usually when they start out, they're mostly hydrogen. And naturally, the area of greatest density will be at the core. Now, according to the ideal gas law, pressure and temperature scale directly, which means that the higher pressure a system is, the higher temperature that system is. Temperature in this kind of context means how fast those atoms are moving around and bumping into each other. And in the core of a star, eventually you reach such high temperatures that the atomic nuclei that are present, in this case, let's say a hydrogen burning star would just be protons, those protons can bump into each other fast enough that they will fuse together. To get to this point, you really need to be super dense, super high temperature, because what you're doing is you're overcoming the electromagnetic repulsion between like charges and reaching this small distance at which the strong nuclear force takes over. Once you fuse two atoms together, this releases energy, and that energy in the core of a star is enough to push the layers of the star outward so that it doesn't just collapse under its own weight. Now, somewhere, the atoms stopped fusing. There is a point at which atomic fusion ceases to release as much energy as it takes to perform that fusion, and that turning point is iron. If you attempt to fuse iron, you're going to get less energy out of that interaction than you put in to push those nuclei together. No matter how big the star, no matter how grandiose, no star can fuse iron. And so at that point, you really do have to just die. The star will collapse, it will become hyperdense, and then it will explode. And that's how you get a supernova. So cool reference. Now let's talk about quantum entanglement. And out there, stuck in a quantum pattern, tangled with what I never said. How do I explain quantum entanglement in 30 seconds or less? Really, it all comes down to the Heisenberg principle. People oftentimes describe this sort of thing as Schrodinger's cat. It's a crude explanation, but it does work. This idea that someone gives you a box and they have told you that there's a cat in it. You trust them for the sake of this hypothetical experiment. Until you open the box, you don't know whether the cat inside is alive or dead. And so, for your purposes, the cat is both alive and dead. How you model this mathematically is with a wave function. You'll have an equation and it has two or more parts. Each additive part will represent a state, and the state of that particle is a superposition of all of these possible states that it could be in. When you measure that particle and you see that it is in fact one of these states, that's called collapsing the wave function. A poetic way to use this might be she loves me not. When I pick the last petal, that's collapsing the wave function. And until I'm done plucking all of the petals off of this flower, she is in a superposition of both loving me and not. What does this have to do with entanglement, I hear you cry? Well, there are some pairs of particles, specifically paired quarks, where by collapsing the wave function of one particle, you necessarily collapse the wave function of the other particle. Let's say I take a paired up and down quark and I separate them across continents. If I measure this one and I can see what state it's in, then immediately I know what state the other one was in at that moment. It doesn't matter how far away they are somehow connected. It sounds like you can use it for faster than light communication, but you can't, because you can't control what states these particles are in. You can just use them to measure each other. Okay, deep breath. We are stuck in a quantum pattern, tangled with what we never said. Even though they are using the word tangled here, this does not refer to entanglement. This simply refers to superposition. We are each in a superposed state of what we are and what we are not. The quantum state of a conversation that I will have in the future is made up of the things that I will say and the things that I won't say. When I have that conversation, the wave function collapses, and I will have said what I will have said. I will never have said what I won't have said, but it remains part of the superposition of states that I used to describe that conversation when it was still in my future. This is tough stuff, guys. It's really difficult to explain in just a few minutes, so we can go into it more maybe in a different video or something if someone manages to find a song that's specifically about quantum superposition, but for now, let's just move on. I adore that they have used it here. I appreciate the reference. No. If you cry, I'm gonna cry. Okay, I love this song. The astrophysics imagery is fantastic. I can't get over that. It's great. We're floating in space, indeterminate in our state, ejected from a dying star. How beautiful is that? But also, it's just so deeply sad. Some of this stuff is just like, ugh, raking my fingernails across my heart. Okay. We're done. What are our stats? Well, let's see. We had 12 songs. Of those 12, I wonder if I can see how many times I've played these. Apparently not. Of these 12, I think the ones that stuck with me the most were Higher, The Offering, The Night Does Not Belong to God, Give, Sugar, Say That You Will, and Bloodsport. Honorary mention for Levitate because it did make me cry. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 for 12. That's actually a really good number. I'm used to picking 2 good songs off of an album. I'll buy an album if it's got 3 or 4 songs on it that I really like. I bought Map of the Soul 7 and there are 20 songs on that album and I think I really found myself liking 6 of them. So that's about my expectation. I also liked the puzzle solving aspect of this for sure. This has been fun. It's like getting a crossword to do with your song. In terms of overall story arc, I was with it. I was on the same page until today. Today made no sense. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. I just need to listen to the music more. Spotify has no idea what to do with me, by the way. I think Higher got like 40 plays out of me last week. Sugar might have gotten that many yesterday. It's a good album. It's actually a really good album. I don't know why I'm being all nonchalant about it. It's fantastic. And I will definitely be as obnoxious as possible over the summer when I share this with my family. But it was absolutely exhausting. I'm gonna do one more video on Sundowning, of course, from the sub-basement. That will be 4 songs long, so we will get Bloodsport, Shelter, When the Party's Over, and I Want to Dance with Somebody. I think we literally did that last time my friends and I went out for karaoke. Can't wait to see what they do with it. I am going to be releasing these videos across the weeks, so there's quite a bit of time delay between me filming this video and you seeing it. I think I am going to use that time delay to take a little bit of a break on this stuff. Genuinely touch some grass. I have an excellent hiking trip planned. Higher will make a great song for hiking. Let me know what your favorite songs off of this album were and any thoughts you might have on these signs, sigils, lyrics, etc., etc. I always love hearing from you guys, and I'll see you again soon from the room below. Bye.